Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
Now, Palenque was a game I got in a dent and ding sale. Cool stuff. Didn't pay very much money for it. So I thought, what the heck, I'll take a chance on it. It's another abstract game where you're trying to maximize your action points, right? And I don't really like these action point games that much because it leads to analysis paralysis. This one solves it a little bit by only having 3 versus something in Tico where you're going to have 10, right? So you have 3 action points and you can save them, so you're not always taking all of your action points. There's only a couple of things you can do. You can place people on the board. You can swap people around. You can put one of those temples out on the board. Or you can save it, right? There's not a whole lot else going on. I guess you can move the borders a little bit. So it's at its heart, though, more than an abstract game, it's an area control game. You're trying to get your little circles to maximize your point. What makes it more interesting, though, is that if you score a lot of points in an area, that's great. You're going to score a lot of points. Somebody's going to come in and but also get half those points by being in second place. So there's that whole push and pull with, do I want to build this huge little empire in this kingdom, abstractly, of course, and score a bunch of points, but I'm giving somebody at the table half points of that. Not half my points, but half the points. Or is it better to sit around, maybe just try to cherry pick a whole bunch of points, or a combination thereof? Really, this game to me is determined by who can win the most second place, right? If you win a lot of second place and you're taking half points from people and scoring those your own, it can be a very powerful thing. Because you might score 8 points, but I'm scoring 4. So I don't really have to score a whole lot of different places elsewhere to make up those 4 points. Usually, it's 3 to 5 points, and I'm scoring half of those. So the distance is even smaller. I think if they were trying to put a theme on this, they should have used different components. Now, the plastic temples you have, those are fantastic. Those look great. But everything else is just little wooden circles. I don't even know if they represent armies or people or what, because the temples are 2. I don't even really know what I'm doing in this game other than trying to play this abstract area control game. Now, I'm going to go ahead and purge this one because I don't particularly enjoy area control games, although it's something that I've tried to like a lot. I just don't. But it doesn't have a theme really attached to it, although it has this minor one it's trying to gloss over. Decisions are easy, but a little bit too easy and straightforward. I don't feel like I have enough control. At the end of the day, I just don't think I had a lot of fun playing it. And that's just me. So if you like abstract, you like area control games, this is probably one you're going to check out. It works. The scoring is very easy. So glad to see a game like this with easy scoring at the end. You score, if you have the most, you get a point each, and if you have the second most, you get half of that. Very easy, rounded down. There's not a lot else going. Now, I do want to point out that the rules that end the game were a little bit confusing. They're numbered 1, 2, and 3. I think 3 was connected to 1. So it said if you score, or if 2 doesn't happen, then you would do an end game scoring. So there's 4 scoring cards in the game, and I think you score a 5th time if the game doesn't end with a scoring card. But the rules were very unclear on that. But that's how we ended up playing. Otherwise, why would you continue to play the game, right? If there's no more scoring cards. It's just too abstract for me. It's just too vanilla. It's just not enough there for me. I don't particularly enjoy these type of games. So take that with a grain of salt when you're hearing this review, that you may actually like it because it's a solid game, and I think there are some people who will enjoy it. Here's Palenque by Alan D. Ernst. It's got a really kind of South American, Central American box here. It's kind of a cool little look. It's striking, although the colors are kind of that yellow and brown. You're going to get a giant rule book that will come with it. Here's the front of the rule book with this green face. And then the rules are really... The book does not have to be this big. It's obnoxiously big, but it does do a good job of explaining the rules, and with one read-through, some two-player rules. I probably wouldn't recommend it 2 players, but you know, it definitely goes through it pretty solidly. You're going to get a rule book, a board that probably looks just like a mess of icons, because it probably is. You're going to get some of these giant temples in the box. These are really hard plastic and really neat to look at. You're going to get some cards that do a pretty good job. I think they're pretty good quality, and they shuffle pretty well. They, you know, what's on is pretty generic. There's some score cards, but they look fine. And you're going to get a number of little wooden markers and tokens and stuff you've seen it a million times. The game's fairly abstract, so I don't think you're going to have, you know, there's no theme here, even though a couple of the pieces are pretty nice. The insert is pretty generic. No points off for me for that, but that's what you get in the box. The rules of the game were pretty good, except for the end game of it, of due to the extra 5th scoring or not, if it's not ended by the scoring round. Otherwise, the rules were pretty clear, actually fairly good, and the player aids that come with it on these little cards are really, really good. So those are really good. I like those, able to pass those out. Everybody looked at those and knew exactly how to play the game. Really, that is the game, those player aids. So fantastic job with that. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit of how this game works, just the flow of the game a little easily. Now, you would have a whole bunch of these kingdoms set up all over the board. I'm going to concentrate on these 3 kingdoms right here. So what you're going to be doing on your turn is you're going to have a hand of 2 of these cards, and you will draw 3. So theoretically, you can have some decisions to make. I got the same one twice. Let me grab something different. So I have 3 different cards here that I could possibly play, and these are going to correspond to the signals on here on the board. So what I would do is I'd play one of these, put in a discard pile, and I would put my color out, and when you start the game out, you have 1 out here on the board. So let's say he's right here. So you have 3 action points at this point to play. It cost me 1 to place something adjacent to where I was already at. So to place adjacent, it would be 1. If I wanted to place a second one adjacent, it would cost me 2 for a total of 3. But it has to match the card that I played. So those places both have pink on them, so those are legitimate moves. Instead, I could have taken and spent 2 AP. Remember, I have 3, and I could have put it anywhere on the board as long as it matched the token that I had set up there. For an additional AP, I could move. Let's say I wanted to make this kingdom a little bit bigger for area control purposes. That cost me 1 to kind of move it out. Another thing I could do on my turn for 3 AP, I can build one of these temples. Okay, and they can go anywhere as long as it matches the card, and they can't be next to a wall. So let's say I want to put it way up here. That's a legitimate move. The reason why you want to put those out, anybody next to it cannot be exchanged, and these are equivalent to 2 of those little round circulars. And that's mainly what you're doing. So let's say for 2 AP, I can also swap anybody 2 on the board and get that where I want it to. So why are you doing this? Well, you're doing this because you're trying to get area control. So when the scoring cards come out, you're going to get 1 point if you have the most in a circle, or in a kingdom. So in this point, I would get 2 points for being here. If this guy was here, I would have scored that kingdom and got 3. If this guy would have been here, I would score this kingdom and get 4. If I had had this here, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, great. Whoever's there in second place, no matter how many they have, it's going to get half of what the first player got. So if I got 6 here for blue, yellow would get 3. And you go through each kingdom and do that. If there's a tie, then you just split the difference, and the lesser people don't get anything. So you only get first or second place. That's the game. It's a little abstract of area control, trying to put things out. You have 3 action points per turn, except for a scoring. If a scoring card comes out, then you can either take 1 point before the score or 4 afterwards. Otherwise, it's really simple. the place next to yourself is cheaper, or anywhere on the board is a little bit more expensive, you can exchange and move people around, or you can put those temples out and hopefully get that area control that you're looking for. The winner of this game will be usually dictated by who was able to steal some of these second place vote or points. That's really where I feel like the winners and the losers are determined. So that's how you play. You play until the deck runs out or somebody runs out of these, and then the game ends. Who should buy this? I think anybody looking for a light abstract who likes area control games. I think if you like those kind of things, or for some reason this theme speaks to you, then that would be somebody that would like this game. Because it's not an area of a game that I like, although it's a solid game, I would say I would recommend it to try it. Try this one out, see if it fits your needs. I liked it better than Onitami, even though it's very different. But I kind of put all those abstracts together. I liked it better than a lot of abstracts I've played because of the simplistic scoring at the end. I liked that the scoring was very clear in this abstract. It makes the game very easy to teach, very easy to understand, and very easy to play. It's going to be a purge for me. I'm not going to keep this one in the collection. I hope you all enjoyed this review. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.